Hello viewers, you're welcome to another episode of The N.O.W Show. On today's episode, I'm going to be speaking with somebody I consider a very courageous woman, a woman of strength. And you'll know why I say so in a minute. Today's episode, the title, A Testimony to be Completed. Joining me on today's show is my sister, my friend, Mrs. Ibilola Bamigbade. Ibilola, you're welcome to the N.O.W Show.
Thank you so much, ma.
You know, your story inspires me, and yours is a life of grace, mercy, favor, and everything good that we can think of our Creator, because it's giving you a beautiful story. And look at you. Through it all, you're still looking so beautiful and charming.
Yes.
Wow. Welcome.
Thank you once again.
Ibilola, your story. If I remember very well, your story started after your two daughters and you were pregnant with your third child.
Yes.
Take it out from here from me.
Okay. When I was pregnant with my third child, along the line, I noticed some things. I usually, I'm trying to.
When you say usually,
from experience from the two pregnancies and everything. Normally, I have normal birth and normal delivery, but along the line, I started noticing.
And your pregnancies are easy pregnancies.
They are.
Okay.
They are.
Okay.
They are.
Okay.
I'm trying to recollect which of the month. I do go for my normal antenatal.
Okay.
And I was told to do some tests.
Okay.
That was when I started noticing the irregularities, in the sense that when my blood test came out, my PCV, I was told that it was quite low.
Okay.
The doctors thought that it was due to the pregnancy.
Okay.
So I was prescribed some drugs to help to boost it up and everything, and it wasn't helping out. But you know, I kept on going for the antenatal. Okay. So I think the third trimester, I'm trying to recollect the month now. I went for a particular checkup, antenatal checkup, and the doctor requested that I should do a blood test, and it came out again that my PCV was very low at this point. And she went through my records and saw that, okay, the last pregnancy I had, which was my third daughter, my second daughter, that I had a similar case, that when I gave birth to her, I was transfused. But I didn't take cognizance of it. Initially, they thought it was due to the pregnancy. But she now told me that from the record, that after this delivery, that when because that's the normal hospital that I do attend if I'm not feeling fine, that it's in my record that I've had repeated severe anemia, and she asked if I've ever done what's it called, a comprehensive test apart from. I said no, and she said she would like to refer me to the general hospital for a proper checkup. So I was referred to hematology department there. I got there and I was told to do some tests. And I was asked some questions and everything, and they weren't too clear. They were wondering what could cause the severe anemia and everything. But before I could do the last test I was required to, then I had delivered. Then that was when the big episode started.
When you say the big episode, you need to take my viewers through this big episode.
This will be the first time.
It's always the first time.
Okay. Before the delivery, that was the first, I won't forget, the first Sunday in January 2019. I went to church for the Thanksgiving and everything.
Thanksgiving
Sunday of the year, I won't forget. And I noticed that I started seeing blood, traces of blood, and I called a friend in church then, who happens to be a nurse. And she said, from what she's seen, because she inspected, and said, she examined me rather, and said she would advise me that I should go for a proper checkup, but that I shouldn't
panic.
I shouldn't panic. I said, okay. I told her that the following day, which happens to be a Monday, I will go. And I went home. Then when I got home, I noticed the blood increased, and I was taken to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, I was told I'll be admitted, and they carried out what's it called, scan to see to examine the baby and to see how far. I was told that the placenta had blocked the N3 of my uterus, that there was no way that I would have the normal birth, that I would require the cesarean operation and everything. So I was admitted, and when I started feeling, contraction, I was booked for the CS. I went into the theater. I could recollect a wonderful consultant that I had. He happened to be a Christian, and when I look back, if I would digress a little bit, God knew what was ahead of me, and He planted each and every one that could help me along that journey.
Awesome, God.
He prayed with me, and we went into the theater. I came out. The delivery was successful.
Praise God.
The hours after the following day, when I recovered, I discovered that I couldn't move properly. Initially, I thought it was due to
the effects of the
surgery and everything, and I was told to lie down and everything. But instead of me getting better, I knew there was something wrong, but I couldn't place my hand. Along the line, a nurse friend came in for our shift, and she was happy to see me, and she congratulated me, and she noticed the way I was breathing, and she called my attention to it. And I said, well, Dad, I don't know if I'm breathing irregularly. But I told her that I know something is wrong, but I can't just place.
She can't tell what it is.
So she called. She had to call a doctor to see me, and he came to examine me. Doctors, they won't tell you. I think they noticed. Some few minutes after, all what I'm trying to recollect. I saw my consultant was called in. He checked, and some minutes after, I saw the chief medical doctor and some other consultants came in. I was like, what's happening?
What is all this attention
for? And everything. Then I was placed on oxygen, and from there, the journey started.
The journey,
the big journey started. I was then, several tests was done. For more, I think for 2 days I was placed on oxygen. I was transfused then. Because they had to take my blood samples, the D-test, and the severe anemia case came back. And they were worried. The hospital ran out of blood, and they had to call the blood bank. That was when I knew, oh God,
this is a serious case.
This is a serious case. And all through, God is wonderful.
Yes.
I didn't panic. I don't know where the courage came from.
I say you're a woman of strength.
I didn't panic.
Yes.
Then along the line, my boss and my senior pastor was called in, and he was one of those that encouraged me, and also my siblings also. He gave me a word and I held on to it. He said, continue to confess. I will not die,
so
but
at what
live.
point were you given a diagnosis, and what was the diagnosis?
From the hospital, I discovered that I tried to draw their attention to the pain I had. I started having severe pain at my back. They would come in and they would tell me, I would tell them I have pain, but my back. They would ask me about the surgery that had the pain. I said I have pain there, but not compared to the pain that I have at my back. That is excruciating. That it was. And
like they always say in the hospital, than 10. What would you say the pain was?
I told them 9.
Wow, that was real.
It was. I told them. I had to tell them that I've gone through normal delivery. That the pain that I had at my back then was higher than what I had at the delivery of my children.
Okay.
Then I think my consultant came in and I drew attention to him. He now took up on his own, took my blood sample and went to the lab. And when he came back, he was discussing with a doctor, and I would never forget that phrase. He was asking the sentence. He said, in what case does teardrop occur? And I was like, teardrop. There's something wrong with my blood. I had my phone beside me. Normally, we are told that we shouldn't consult Google. But I checked and I knew there were some irregularities with my blood, and I started praying within me. But I couldn't tell anyone. I didn't want to scare them. But I didn't know that my consultant had told my husband something. It was later on. We moved on from there. I left the hospital, got back home. I was prescribed some drugs, injections and everything. It didn't get better. Rather, it got worse.
Here you are.
When
with an infant child and 2 young daughters as well.
At home. And then, my mom had to come in and I had an aged mother. She was in her 70s, about 78 then. She came in, and my siblings also. I had people around me.
You had a good support system.
I do. And that the support system that you have when you are down really matters a lot.
That's right.
It helps.
That's right. When we say that on this show, that your support system is very important to deal with anything that you have to deal with.
When I got home and, I continued with my medication, then it got to a point. The pain didn't subside. And I just noticed that I couldn't get up from bed. The pain was so severe. So severe to the extent that I couldn't sit upright and I couldn't walk at all.
So you now became incapacitated, as it were?
Yes. Then we started, I was referred to General Hospital. I got to General Hospital.
Sorry, at that point, you had become, you needed help.
I needed help.
With even yourself.
Yes.
Not just your children.
Not just my children.
So because you couldn't move. You couldn't
I couldn't. Then, you know, the mother instinct, I couldn't carry my baby.
Even your baby.
To breastfeed her, I was losing weight rapidly. That without being told, I had to stop breastfeeding her.
How did you feel at this time? Truly and honestly.
Being a person that usually I do things on my own. I didn't engage and help. I do things at home with my husband, you know, we try to manage and everything. And, you know, having people around me and I couldn't do anything. I don't want to use the word useless.
Helpless.
I was helpless. I was, you know, helpless. Even you would know that, okay, it's this situation. But I felt bad within me. From a person that used to move around to someone that I couldn't even move my hand without pain. It was frustrating.
Yes, I think that's it. That's the word, frustration. Yes.
Yes. It was frustrating. Then I was moved to General Hospital. I was admitted at the ER, the emergency, and that was from the complaint I had then. And we did a scan and also a test that required my 24 hours urine, and the urine was flown out of the country to South Africa, and the diagnosis came back, and I won't forget that day as well, because when I was given the diagnosis, I was alone in the room.
You were told?
I was told.
And what was the diagnosis?
The doctor came in, walked up to me and said, "Madam, your result is out and you have multiple myeloma." And that was the first time
you would hear such a word.
And I was like, I told her, multiple myeloma. What is multiple myeloma? And she said, cancer of, and that was, I was off.
As soon as you heard cancer.
All what she was saying, I didn't hear. I was like, cancer. The doctor left and I was alone. I was cancer. So a few minutes after, my sister came in.
So it's cancer of what?
Cancer of the plasma. And multiple myeloma, I now Googled it myself. I discovered that it could destroy the kidney, it affects the bone, vital organs. And I was like, no wonder I had that pain. And when I checked the result of my scan, I had compression in my back, which had led to collapse of some of my bones, and I couldn't move. Then the decision was that for me to have proper care, I need to be moved to a tertiary hospital, and we chose Lut. And we had to pray then that God should lead us. And thank God we did. I got to Lut, I met a wonderful woman who happens to be my hematologist consultant, and I was placed on admission. So many things happened there.
As with a cancer case.
Yes. And I was treated for pain management, and I was, what was it called, an orthopedic doctor was brought in, and he told me that for me to be able to sit upright and move around, that I require a lumbar jacket. It was purchased, and I could remember the first time I tried it on. I did. Up to during that period, I couldn't move. I couldn't move.
Look at you. Isn't God awesome?
It is. God is. God is. It's been God. When I look back sometimes when I'm alone, and the memory replay in mind, and I'm like, God, you've been wonderful.
It's been wonderful. So you've been brought from a stage where you couldn't move at all. You couldn't help yourself in any way. You were in so much pain. You couldn't even care for your children.
Not at all.
To this stage where I remember seeing you in a walker when you were trying to improve my heart. But because I've been there before, I knew that the God we serve is faithful to complete what he starts.
Yes.
Here you are today. Well, I would say you're well, because looking back to where you're coming from, it's a journey, a long journey, and here you are. But then, the testimony is not complete yet.
Yes.
And we're at the stage where they have said that something needs to be done. And urgently too.
Yes.
Which is?
Initially, when I got to Lot, I was told that it could be managed.
Okay.
That the first stage will be the chemotherapy. Then after the chemotherapy, that there's a procedure. Because I'm told that multiple myeloma occurs usually among the elderly, 60, 65 upwards.
Wow.
And I've seen that because, whenever I go to the hospital for chemotherapy, I'm the youngest.
Those are the people that you see, the old ones.
The old ones.
And you are in your late 30s? Or?
I'm in my 40s, my early 40s.
Wow.
And then I was told it's called stem cell transplant. That it's in two categories. One that I will be my own donor is autologous, and there's one that requires a donor from either my sibling or relative, someone that would match with my what's it called, my stem cell.
Okay.
So I've been managed. I've gone through 9 months of chemotherapy, 2 different types. The chemo, a journey on its own. One I wouldn't wish my enemy to go through. But I came out. And I'm being told stem cell. Then we consulted, we made consultation around the world. Before the COVID-19 pandemic came in, and due to the pandemic,
COVID restriction
and everything, we decided we got the prize list from United Kingdom, and I have two siblings. I have my siblings there.
Okay.
Because we decided to choose United Kingdom because one, if we choose another country due to a cheaper price list, at the end of the day, the cost will be quite higher than that of UK.
Okay, because in the UK, you can take out cost of aftercare.
Aftercare.
Okay. Yeah. Because you have support in the
UK. So
how much money are we looking at?
Oh, quite a lot.
That you need to raise.
I need to raise £90,000.
Wow, £90,000. £90,000 for this wonderful, charming woman to remain the mother to her 3 wonderful children who are still under 10. Wow. You and I can help to give her a chance at life and to help make this testimony complete. You know, £90,000. Yes, it seems daunting. It seems a lot of money. But to some people, it's not. And I'm believing that God will touch somebody out there to help you. Touch many people out there to help you, because your life is a life of inspiration. I mean, I can just imagine how far you will go when the testimony is complete, because the testimony is going to be complete. Amen?
Amen.
So, please, I have spoken. Talk to my people.
I would like to plead that you please give me a chance to be able to bring up my children like every mother's dream. I plead with you that you please support me financially to raise this money and to be able to beat cancer, so that I will be able to be an inspiration to others out there that are fighting this demon, which I called cancer.
This demon, cancer. And together, we all can beat this demon called cancer. Ibilola, your life inspires. Your story inspires. And like I said, this testimony will surely be complete.
Amen.
Where do you draw your strength? That would be, because we have something we do on the Now Show, which we call the final word, which is something that we always want our guests to leave with our viewers. Like I said, you're a woman of great strength. Where do you draw your strength?
There's a verse in the Bible that says, I'm trying to
just exhale. I know this is quite emotional for you, and a lot.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers them all from it. That has been my verse. I keep reminding myself, this, you will pass through this. You will overcome. You will overcome. You are an overcomer already, a winner and an overcomer. That's why we do a show like this for people like you. And like you said, you will overcome this. Because I believe that our viewers will help my sister so that she can be the complete overcomer that she is and be the best version of herself that has been created. We look forward to hearing from you. Nothing is too small. Ibilola's account details will be scrolled. Please just help her. And for those who want to reach out to her to just say a word of encouragement, that also will help, go a long way. We look forward to her story, taking her when she's back from the surgery. And she has beaten this completely. So, until we come your way again on the Now Show, this is myself,
my sister, Ibilola Bamigbade, saying thank you for joining us. And we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.